So I want to thank you guys all for joining me today. Short little webinar, just really wanted to share some of my favorite Chrome apps and extensions. So I generally work in Chrome almost all the time. And the reason why I like working in it, one, obviously QuickBooks Online works the best in it. And two, you'll see on the next screen, I love the fact that I can create a Chrome user and I can log in with that Chrome user on any device that I have, and all of my bookmarks follow me wherever I go. So that's one of the reasons that I generally try to use it. So these are just, I want to cover some basic Chrome tips and tricks, and the first one, like I mentioned, is Chrome users. And the other thing is to set specific pages to open when you start the browser. So when you open the app, you can have it so that specific pages open up. So when I log into my main QuickBooks, or my main Chrome user, which is the StacyK user or person, they're called people now, it automatically opens up my Gmail in one tab and then a blank Google tab in the other one. And so you can set that up and customize that. So I wanted to, I could have it open up QuickBooks Online, I could have it open up Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and Reddit, it doesn't matter. And so every time I open that browser up and I open the program, it would give me those tabs. Richard also pointed out another great tool that, so I want to thank you, Richard Ropa, for that, is when you go to more tools, and I'll show all of this to you guys, when you go to the more tool, you can go to any web page and you can actually add it, that page to an application shortcut in Windows. And if we have time, Richard, you're on a Mac, so you're not on a Windows computer, are you, right? Can you put it in the chat? Are you on a Mac or Windows? Chat. I can't hear you. You're muted. Sorry. Because I was going to say I can screen share and have you maybe share out the Windows so you can see how it works, because I don't have a Windows machine. But if not, don't worry about it. And I'll show you how it works on a Mac. I want to talk about the bookmark bar. I love the bookmarks bar. And then just some cool little things that you can do with the URL bar, or the Omnibox sometimes is called. Omnibox. Okay. All right, so I may share it out with you and see if we have time at the end, and have you show how that more tools add page looks on a Windows machine, if you don't mind. And then the drag to search. So these are just some tips and tricks that I want to share out with you. So you guys can all see my screen, and up here in the top right hand corner you can see I'm logged in with this Chrome user, which is StacyK Academy, because I'm presenting for StacyK Academy today. However, I have the ability to create different Chrome people, and if I drop this down, you can see I have quite a few set up on this particular machine. So this is my office computer. This is a big 27-inch iMac. So I have different users set up, and I can log into them, and I have them set up for different reasons. So this one is my main, StacyK. This is my main one. So when I open this up, it's going to open up Gmail. I'm not going to do that because I have no idea what someone may or may not have sent me, and I don't know whether or not the subject line is going to be appropriate in some of those emails. I'm just saying I'm not going to do that. This one is for the projects that Seth and I work on, Seth David and I work on. So this is our Apposaurus Rex, our Google Drive, and our Gmail. And then this is the QB show. So when we used to do the QB show, I could log in with the QB show person, and I have all of the bookmarks set up that I needed to, right? So I have my QuickBooks Online, I have the test drive here. We have our YouTube page, and it wouldn't matter what machine I was logging into, these bookmarks follow this Chrome user wherever, whether it's my iPad or my MacBook Air, any Windows machine, it doesn't matter. My Google Plus, so everything that I needed to do the show was always right here, so I could always log in and have this right there and saved. And so the passwords that are saved here, if I were to go to Twitter and log in, it's going to remember, and it's going to save the QB show, right? So it would let me log in, so it's not going to save the Stacy Kildall Twitter or the Apposaurus Rex, it's going to remember the username and password that I have asked it to for this user, which is one of the reasons why I love Chrome. So it's very easy to flip back and forth between stuff. So today when I was doing a webinar about QuickBooks Online, I did workflows, common workflows in QBO. I used the one that I use for all my demos, which is my Stacy apps, my StacyK app demos. So I love the Chrome users very, very much, I will say that. The next thing is that you can set pages to open up at start. So let me just open up this blank one here, and if I go to what I call the little hamburger icon, it's really your settings icon. I don't know what else to call this, because if you say the settings button, nobody knows what that is. And this little button right here, there's 3 little lines. So, oh, you guys aren't seeing it? Hold on. There we go. Sorry, I don't know why you guys weren't seeing that. I just had to unshare and reshare. It was showing that I was sharing. So you guys can see it now? You guys can't see? Oh, so weird. Okay, can you now? Okay, that's very weird. All right. Well, if you guys missed that first couple minutes, for those of you, you can go back, because I'm not recording it with this particular, with the Zoom app. I'm recording it with Camtasia. So I know that it's being recorded. But anyway, so you can use those. So thank you for letting me know that. But anyway, if we go to this little hamburger icon, I'm going to open up a new tab here. And if we use this little, I call it the hamburger button, like I was saying, because it doesn't say settings, and it doesn't say customize or anything like that. And it used to look like a little wrench, which made sense, because that would be your settings. But over here in the top right, you can see all the way over here, this little button. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go down to my settings. And in my settings, this is where I can go set up all sorts of really good stuff. I can show my home button. I can, on startup, I can say continue where I left off. Or I can say I want to set some specific pages or a set of pages, and I can click that right here, and I can say, okay, so for this, I want this to be, you know, my Gmail, my inbox, and then if I wanted, I could have this be my Google, you know, my Google Drive, and say, okay. So now every time I go open up and I close down this browser, and I open it up, as long as it's with this user, it's going to open up those specific pages that I set. So that's kind of a time saver, so you don't have to, you know, move to that page if you need to. The other thing that we were talking about is this more tools. So if I navigate to maybe any page, and let's say we'll go to, we'll go to MailChimp. So if I'm going to manage my MailChimp account, but I don't want this bookmarked or whatever, but I want this to show up on a Mac. It's going to show up differently than on a Windows computer. So when I'm talking about apps, if I click on this bookmark bar and I right click and I say show apps shortcut, this is where all of the Chrome apps and extensions will show up once you add them to your browser. So if I click on this, you can see here's all of the apps. Now watch what I'm going to do here. So I want MailChimp to show up here. So anytime I open up a blank page, this is what will show up. So I say, hey, I want to add this. I'm going to go to my little hamburger button, and in here I'm going to click More Tools, and then what I want to do is Add to Applications. So on a Mac, it's going to put it on that apps page, and on a Windows computer, it adds a shortcut, right, Richard? It adds a shortcut to the applications on your bar in Windows, right? Like on the bottom. Let me unmute you. Hold on. Because I don't use this on a Mac, so I'm going to say okay, and hold on. So where does it end up showing up? Okay, so that's on a window. So it's you have the option to put it on your desktop or on the taskbar. And then with a Mac, okay, so it automatically puts it on your desktop for Windows. Is that right? Okay, and then you can drag it. Okay, so then for a Mac, what happens is once I said, I went to my hamburger and I said more tools, and then I added to applications, it's going to put it here. So now you see I have my MailChimp right here. So if I close this down and maybe I open up a blank tab, I can just go to my apps button and there it is. So I might not want this here on my bookmark bar, so I can add it to apps and it will show up right here. And this is where any of the apps that you add generally will show up. Any of the Chrome apps or extensions are going to show up here as well. So you can kind of put them all in one place if you want to. So it's kind of handy. And then once I click on that, it's just going to open up that page. It's just, you're basically bookmarking. It's just putting another little shortcut in that apps page right there. And I knew these, yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, and it'll open up in a separate window. And so this is just on a Mac, and it works a little bit different on the Windows like Richard was saying. So that's kind of just another little tool, little tip and trick, and I want to thank him for reminding me about that because I always forget about it. And then we have my favorite, which is the bookmark bar, and this is kind of tiny, and I don't know, I can't really make this show up any bigger because I have these really tiny. So I like to use the bookmark bar. And to get to the bookmarks bar in Google Chrome, you can click on your bookmarks and you can say show bookmarks bar. And anytime I want to add something, and that's this thing right here with all these tiny little icons. So I am not a fan of having all the labels up there. And if I wanted, I can go to, we'll put Facebook because Facebook is not here. So I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to say, okay, here's Facebook. And now if I want to add this to my bookmarks, I can just click the little star up here. And so I can say bookmark. And so then it's going to ask me, where do you want to put it? My bookmarks bar. That's where I want it. And I'm going to say done. But notice over here, it says Facebook login, blah, blah, blah. I don't want all of that there. I know that it's Facebook because I can see that tiny little F, the little icon. So what you can do with the bookmarks bar is if you right click, you can edit any of the bookmarks that are on your bookmarks bar, say edit, and all I'm going to do is where the name is, I'm just going to delete that. I'm just going to completely blow it out, and I'm going to save, and so now I have more room on my bookmarks bar. So if I just add the little icon, little favicon on there, that's all I see, and that's all I need. That's all I want. Another thing that's kind of cool with bookmarks, and I can show this over here in the StacyK apps, is you can also create folders. So these are some of the QBO bookmarks that I have. So if I have a group of bookmarks that I want to put together that are related, I can create a folder directly on my bookmarks bar, and I can add those bookmarks directly into that folder and basically create some drop-down menus. This is really handy when you're using QBO and you're teaching a client the workflow. Or you have specific things that you just want them to do so they don't screw anything up or make any mistakes. You can say, okay, I want you to do these things and I want you to do them in this order. And you can just put do a screen share with them, and you can take control of their computer and you can add the bookmarks like this so they know exactly what they have to do. I love the bookmarks bar. It's so, so handy. I just love it. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the URL, or what I've read called the Omnibox, which I've never heard that until just a few months ago. So if I were to open up a new tab, some of the cool things that Chrome does is I can do math. So if I just start typing, instead of typing a search or typing a URL in that URL bar, and I just start typing, like if I start mathing, it'll give me the total. Like, how cool is that? I love doing this, right? So I've got 20 minus 10 equals 10. So this is one of my favorite little things. And I have one even better. So I don't know about you, but like conversions, sometimes I don't like conversions. So if I need to convert, like if I say, I think we can do it this way. Oh no, let's do 412 minutes, right? If we start typing that, it'll tell you like the miles, it'll convert it into kilometers. If I type minutes, it should give you how many days, or I can say like so many days, but it will do a unit conversion for pretty much anything that you want in here. Maybe I say 4 pints equals so many liters, so it'll do the conversions. I love this because I have to convert minutes to decimal point all the time, and so you can do that right here without going to a website and having them do that. It's just one of the little kind of handy little things that I like to do. Just one of my little favorite things. And then another thing that's super cool that I don't know if you guys knew that you can do, but if I were to go basically to, here, let's do this. I'm going to bring this up because this is kind of, let's see. So Flint, Michigan is having some water problems, right? Let's say I'm reading about this and I want to do another search possibly on that. And I'll say, oh, I can copy that. Like I can, oh, sorry, my cat. Sorry. She was stepping on my keyboard. So let's do that again. So if I say, man, I want to do a search for Flint water supply, I can select the text that I want, and then I can drag, I should be able just to drag it up. And I don't know why it's not doing it. But you can drag stuff directly over to how you're, this is what I'm searching for. You can drag this right up into the URL bar, and you can search for something that you need to. So you can just drag and drop some text, right? It's kind of cool. So here's one about Ben Carson's staff member in that serious car accident. So you can basically kind of take anything that you want and you can just drag and drop it over to your URL box and do a search for it. It's kind of handy, so you don't have to type. So I like that. Just some Chrome tips and tricks. Now, apps and extensions. I don't know about you, but for me, I will be maybe on Facebook or I'm on Twitter or I'm doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Maybe I'm reading one article, but I don't have enough time, or I see an interesting article. I love Pocket. Pocket is a really great app, and it's a mobile app, and you can use it on, you can get a Chrome extension for it. And what it does is it will save articles, videos, anything that you need and you want to take a look at later, and it will save it all in one place. So you don't have to bookmark it, you don't have to send yourself an email about it. You can use Pocket to do it. So to find any of the apps, any of these apps, if you go to the Chrome web store, any browser, all you have to do is right-click on your bookmark bar and have it show apps shortcut. When you do that, it will take you to the Chrome, you'll have an app for Chrome Web Store by default. You can also just go to the Googler and find Chrome Web Store, and then you can start searching. So if you have a game that you want to look for, this happens to be one of my favorite games, is 2048. I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize to you right now for all the time that you are going to absolutely waste on that game if you decide to check it out. But it is fantastic. So you can search for anything that you want. You know, I have maybe Zoom that I want to search for. You can find all of that stuff. Maybe it's, you know, an extension, a specific extension. I want to look for free extensions. So you can kind of search for whatever it is that you need. And I happen to have some of them up. So I did a search for Pocket. You can click on it. Once you do the search, it shows up. There's my search. I hit enter. There's Pocket. I click on it. It's going to bring the app or the extension card up so I can take a look at it. I can scroll through it. I can look at reviews. For those of you who are used to using the App Center, the intuitapps.com, this is very similar. You have the overview, you have the reviews, you have any support and some other related things. All I have to do is click Add to Chrome. It's going to add it, and I'm done. So now when I go to that apps link over here on the right, just like I added the MailChimp, now Pocket is going to be added as well. So it's really simple for me to find. I can just go here to my apps, and there's Pocket. And so it's going to, and it's opening up, it's going to open up, it's going to say, hey, sign in with Google, sign up with your email, and all you have to do is log in to your account or sign up with a new one, and you can start adding things. So if I say sign up with Google, and it's going to ask me for my Google address, and I'm going to enter in a password, and finish. And so now I have Pocket. So it's listed. There's nothing in there that I have. But if I were maybe on CNN, I would be able to go ahead and add this to Pocket. Let me just find my Pocket. Right? So you can take a look. You can look at all of your options. It's pretty neat. I mean, I really like Pocket, and you can just add it right to it. The next one that I want to talk to you guys about that I like, so I use Pocket often, and for those of you who've seen some of my other webinars, you probably have seen me talk about Boomerang. You probably have seen me mention it on Twitter and on Facebook. I love Boomerang. It works with Google Apps, and it works with just regular Gmail. So we use Google Apps for work, and I love Boomerang. So I, again, just went and searched for Boomerang for Gmail. It came up. I clicked on it. I'm going to go ahead and add to Chrome. So this is an extension. This isn't an app. So an app, you have to, it opens up separately like we had with Pocket. So the difference here is this is a separate window. It's a different app that's opening up that I use to add. Now Boomerang is an extension, which means it works directly within your browser window. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that extension, and it's all done. Now all I need to do is go open up my Gmail, and you'll see this little button right here. This little icon is my Boomerang icon. And so Boomerang lets you manage, send, depending on what kind of subscription level you have, you can schedule an email to send later. You can, you know, like I did the other day, I sent an email in the middle of the night to a client because I didn't want to get a reply back while I was sitting there working, so I had it scheduled to send like at, I think it was like 12:45 a.m. because I didn't want to deal with it till the next morning. And I knew my client wouldn't get it to the next morning. So you can manage scheduled, you can do all of your settings. So how this works is if I start an email and I'll say, hey, I'm going to send this email, and test, and I'm going to say hi. So right down here, I can say send later, okay? So I'm going to say, I'm going to Boomerang this, and I'm going to say I want to send this later, and I want this to get sent in 4 hours, or tomorrow morning, or in 2 days, or I can specify a specific date and time. So I'll have this get sent at, 2:29, or tomorrow at 8 a.m. and I can just say confirm, and so now it will be scheduled and it's going to get sent in 2 days at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you have to, the first time you use it, you have to sign in, log in successful. So I'm all done. If I need to review anything that's being sent, I can click on my little Boomerang. I can go manage my scheduled messages, and I don't have any that I've gotten that I said, hey, have this come back to me later. So a lot of times I will send an email or I'll reply to a client or someone, doesn't matter, and I can say, hey, bring this back to me on a certain date, and I can even set it up so that it only comes back to me if nobody replies. So it's really nice, and this is how I manage Inbox Zero. So I don't know if you guys have seen me post my Inbox Zero pictures on Twitter and Facebook. I do it as often as I can. This is how I do it, because a lot of people use their email as a to-do list and a reminder of what they need to do. I don't need a CRM. I don't need an entire CRM because we don't have that many leads in the pipeline. I think we have 4 right now. So we're really easy. We can manage them very easily by sending an email and then saying after it's sent, bring this back to me in 2 days if I don't hear anything back. Or if I tell somebody, hey, you know what, why don't I reach around, why don't I come back around and circle back around with you the beginning of February so we can schedule an appointment, I can say, you know what, bring this back to me, February 2nd at 3 p.m. and I can follow up with them that way. So rather than putting in a calendar reminder and using a CRM, I just have my email, and it does it really, really well. I love me some Boomerang. You guys are all using Zoom, right? You guys all logged in. There's a Chrome extension for Zoom, and I'm going to show you how awesome this is. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to Chrome, and again, this is an extension, so it works directly within the Chrome browser. It's not a separate app that's going to be opening. So you can see, here's that Zoom. It's been added to Chrome. And now if I were to go to my calendar, and I want to create an event, I can make it a Zoom meeting directly within my Google Calendar. So I can just click Make It a Zoom Meeting and say OK. And it's going to ask you usually to log in. I think it'll probably ask you to log in. There we go. All right, so it's asking me to sign in. I'm all signed in, so let me refresh this. So I'm going to create an event. And I can make it a Zoom meeting. I'm going to say, hey, I want the video on or off. And these are just like a default. So every appointment that you schedule in Chrome will default to these. And you can say personal meeting ID. So you can set all this up. I'm just going to say, okay. We'll do video on, and continue. So now, just like you guys all got the invite to this, anybody that I add to this particular event will get an email, and they'll get all of the Zoom information. So I don't have to go into the Zoom app and set up every meeting. I can just add the extension, and anytime I have a meeting, I can say, yeah, make it a Zoom meeting. So we can log in, and we can do screen share, or we can do a conference call, or whatever. And then I can just save, and I'm done. Pretty cool. So I love that one. Now the last one I want to show you, this is a mobile app that I use on my my iPad, and I know we're going to go a little bit over 2:30, so we started a little bit late, so I hope you guys don't mind. If you need to drop off, don't worry, I won't be offended, and you guys will all get a video recording of this. I'll link to the video. So HelloSign, I used to use a different app to do my online signatures, but I found HelloSign, and I love this even more. So there's a app for my iPad that I can use, because I don't like to print things and then sign them and scan them and do all that other crapola. I only have a printer, really, to print stuff for my kids. And so then we use HelloSign, and I'm going to go ahead and add this to Chrome, and I'm going to add the app. And so this is a separate app, and how this works. And I'll show you how this works, and it's probably going to be a little bit easier if I show this to you in like I'll send an email to myself because I have it already set up in my personal Gmail. So I'll show you how this works because it's really cool. So let me send this, and let me just create, here we go. I'm going to just add a document right here. And I want to attach a document, and I'm going to have somebody sign it, right? So I'll do that. I'm going to attach a doc. It's a huge file. Of course, I picked the biggest file I could possibly. I'll say, can you sign this? There you go. And send. So now that's sent. So I'll get this in my personal Gmail in just a minute, so hold on. So this is really cool. Oh, Michelle's saying first your inbox has to be 0, right, to get to inbox 0. Zoom works, I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with Gmail. So Zoom you can use with anything. This is just an extension that you can install for Chrome. So I'm not sure if they have an Outlook extension. They may have one. It really just kind of depends. So it's not associated with the Gmail. It's really just associated. It's just an app for Chrome. So here's that email that I just sent myself, right? It's saying, can you sign this? So if I click on this, oh, and maybe this isn't installed. Hold on. I need to install my HelloSign over here. Hold on. For some reason, it's not installed on this computer. Let me do that. Add Chrome, add app. There we go. Okay. So now let me reopen this. All right. Okay. And hold on. I'm trying to find a picture that I can use to be my signature. Okay. So what you do is you're going to upload, you're going to pick a signature, you're going to sign your name and then create an image of it, and then you're just going to upload it. And so for this purpose, I basically just picked a picture. So let me close this out. Let me open up this email again. There we go. Here we are. So this is the email that we sent. And so now, if I click on this, I don't know why it's not asking me to sign it. Ah, it's not working. This is bothering me. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that when you open up the app, it should give you, and I don't know why it's not working, because it works perfectly on my my little one. It asks you basically, do you want to sign this? And so you've uploaded a signature image, and then you just add it to wherever you need to on the document that they send. So you're going to sign your name on a piece of paper, and then take a picture of it, and then upload it, and then you just add it, and you're done. And it's really amazing, and I promise it works really great. So I apologize that didn't work. It worked great when I tried it, and I practiced this last night, but for some reason it's not working today. Because it wouldn't be one of my webinars without technical issues. And Richard is saying that Zoom does have an Outlook extension and a plugin, so you can use Zoom meetings with Outlook just like you can in Google Calendars. So my call to action for you guys is to start searching. Go ahead and take a look at the Chrome store and find one. And then if you want, go ahead and register for StacyK Academy. That is my call to action for you guys, is to find one. And before we go, I just want to show you one of my favorite things to do is to go to the App Store or the web store, and you can search. They have some really great games. I just want to let you know. So 2048 is one of my favorite games, and I just wanted to point that out. So even if it's just a game, my call to action for you, one, is just to test something out. Just add one app or extension to Chrome. And then if you are interested in more good stuff like this, register for StacyK Academy. We're going to start February 11th. And let's see. I'm going to unmute if you guys want. Does anybody have any Chrome extensions or apps that they're using? Do you guys have any favorites that you want to share before we go? Adblock works. The problem is Adblock is great, but it doesn't work with every website. So sometimes you can't use it. Does anybody else have any that they're using that they like? Oh, you use it. Don't you love it? I love it. It makes Boomerang. She uses a Boomerang. I love it. It's one of my favorite apps. Anybody else have any that they're using? Remote desktop. That's a good one. Nope. Or if you need to have access to a remote computer. So if you're out and you have to access your home computer, that's a really good way to do it too. Okay, well that's it. If nobody has any questions, I'll let you guys get going. I kept you guys about 10 minutes late, and I apologize for that, but I want to thank you for, spending some time with me today. I know I talked really fast and we covered a lot of stuff, but you guys will all get the recording and you guys can back it up and review it if you need to. If you have any questions, holler at me. You know where to find me. Thanks, you guys. We'll talk to you later.